Hello, hello. I think we're live. Just waiting for it all to clear. Yes, I think we're live. Good evening, guys. Hope everyone's okay. Um, Happy Monday. I'm really sorry that I couldn't create an event for this. It seems like Facebook has put in some sort of security checks and things like that. So at the minute, it's making it hard for me to create an event for the live. So hopefully you got the reminder in the group that we were doing a live this evening. Hopefully you got the questions over to me that you wanted to ask me. If there is anything that comes up afterwards, I'll do my best to answer it. I have had quite a few questions in from you though. So there's definitely a couple of things that I can cover for tonight. If you want me to cover anything else, as always, let me know. So if you're watching me live this evening, then just put a hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching it in the future, then put hashtag replay, and then I can see kind of who's taking part, who's getting the most out of the information that I'm giving out there for you. So as you know, in this group, I do a live every Monday, and it's normally topic based. But I thought that there might be a few different things that people are coming to me with issues with. So I thought I'd do my best to answer each individual question and use it like a proper Q&A session. So again, hope everyone's okay. Hi Becky, hi Wendy, nice to see you live on me. So I'm going to go through the questions that we've got. Hi Truly, good, because one of them's for you, sweetheart. So the first one that I had through was from Susan, and she's asked why I don't advocate calorie counting. Now, I can't speak tonight. I absolutely do advocate calorie counting. She's doing a challenge with me at the moment over 5 days where we're not doing calorie counting. We're doing something different. So we're doing intermittent fasting and portion control. So the reason that we're doing that is because over the 5 days, it should give them a kickstart with their weight loss and fitness. However, it is a restrictive plan and it's not something that we could necessarily do forever. So that's where calorie counting would come in afterwards. So I do calorie counting. I think it's one of the most flexible approaches to diets. It doesn't suit everyone. It's not a one size fits all with all the diets that I do. I have some of my ladies that do calorie counting. I have some of my ladies that do intermittent fasting. I have some that just do the hand portion control. I've got some that are obviously vegetarian, so they need to look at more protein. There's loads of different things. There's a lady actually that's doing one that's kind of a low carb, low sugar diet. So there is loads of different things that suit people. I never tell anyone that one is more ideal than the other, apart from shakes and things like that. But we won't go into that again because I did the live last week on diets. So I'm definitely not against calorie counting. Susan, we're talking about you. Definitely not against calorie counting. It's just with this being a 5 day challenge, it's a little bit of a kickstart to help you understand your nutrition a little bit better, understand your portion sizes a little bit better, before we add in anything a bit more flexible. So I hope that's answered your question on why not calorie counting. So just while I'm on about fasting, Tracy had asked me whether it was a good idea to do fasting after a holiday to get rid of some calories, basically, and get rid of some weight after a holiday. Now, I don't advocate this at all. And the reason that I don't advocate it is because effectively what you're doing there is you're almost punishing yourself for going away and enjoying yourself. So fasting can be a long-term diet. It's not a quick fix. It's not a fad diet or anything else. I do fasting. I also make sure that I'm keeping within my calories, but I do fasting because it fits within my lifestyle. I'm not hungry in the mornings. I only get hungry about 11, 12 o'clock, so that's when I start eating. And I work from say 6 o'clock, so there's not really a late night that I would have food. I'll have some food this evening because I've got a little bit of an earlier finish and I'm a little bit hungry. But I tend to have most of my calories during the day, so it's in no way a quick fix or fad diet to get rid of a load of weight. So wanting to do something like that after a holiday is generally because you've overeaten, you've overdrank, you've not moved as much. So when you get home and you kind of jump on the scales, you're like, oh, that's it. I've messed up all my progress. And you instantly think that it's all fat that you've put on, but it won't be. You'll be holding water from excess carbs, which normally we all have on holiday. We all have a bit more bread, we all have a bit more pasta, rice, a bit more food intake than what we'd normally have, especially if we go all inclusive and we're having a full meal at lunchtime instead of what we'd just normally have in the office. You've probably reduced your exercise a little bit. And obviously, heat and aeroplanes can all make you kind of hold water weight. So I don't advocate you weigh in as soon as you get back off holiday, just simply because it throws you into this mindset that you've gone overboard on holiday. You know, you need to do something drastic to get the weight off. Where actually, if you just got back onto your normal lifestyle, the weight would drop off within a couple of days anyway. If you got back to concentrating on high protein, lots of fruit and vegetables, making sure that you got your water intake in, because you wouldn't have been drinking as much water on holiday, you'd probably been using alcohol in that, and just getting your steps in. So don't feel like when you come back off holiday, you have to crash diet to kickstart you back in again, because actually, because you've probably been doing stuff in excess and less activity, if you just got back to the normal way of your lifestyle, then the weight will come off within a couple of days. It really will. So please don't do anything drastic. It's almost like a punishment mentality. Because you've gone away and enjoyed yourself and you've put a couple of pounds on, you need to do something drastic to get that back off. Come back off holiday. Enjoy that you've come back off holiday and you feel hopefully a little bit more relaxed and that you've enjoyed the different food and the different culture. Get back to what you were doing normally. Leave it a week before you even weigh in, so you know where you're up to and you don't feel bad for having the time off from your normal lifestyle. So again, I hope that makes sense, and I hope people don't feel the need to crash diet almost after going out and going on holiday and things like that. So not that fasting's a crash diet, but I think that that's what the opinion was of it. So absolutely not. So while I am just on about water, Truly had asked me about water intake. So how much water that we drink every day is basically not really a one size fits all. So it's kind of a simple question with no really easy answer. So studies have produced varying recommendations over the years, but your individual water needs depend on many factors. So it includes your health, how active you are, where you live. So no one single formula fits everyone. However, your water is body's principal chemical component and makes up about 50 to 70% of your body weight. So your body depends on water to survive. So every cell, tissue, organ in your body needs water to work properly. For example, water gets rid of waste through urination, sweat, bowel movements, keeps your temperature normal, lubricates and cushions your joints, protects sensitive tissues. So lack of water can lead to dehydration. So it's a condition that occurs when you don't have enough water in your body to carry out normal functions. So even mild dehydration can drain your energy and make you tired. So every day you lose water through your breath, through sweating, weeing, bowel movements. So for your body to function properly, you must replenish the water supply by consuming beverages and foods that contain water. So really, ideally for women, we need to be drinking around about 2.5 to 3 litres of water a day, or getting in 3 litres of fluids a day. So it does come from other beverages as well, and obviously some food, because 20% usually comes from food and other drinks, because obviously kind of fruit has quite a lot of water in. However, if you do a lot of exercise, so obviously if you do any activity that makes you sweat, you need to drink a bit more extra water to cover the fluid loss. So it's important that you drink kind of throughout your workout and before and after. Obviously, if you're in a hot and humid environment, that can make you sweat more. Or if you're just naturally a sweaty person, then obviously dehydration can happen a lot quicker for you. So overall health, if you've got anything that makes you have a fever or vomits, diarrhea, things like that, then obviously making sure that you get rehydration solutions in. Pregnancy and breastfeeding. If you're pregnant and breastfeeding, you may want to take additional fluids in to stay hydrated. So, like I say, herbal teas, things like that, they can go towards your water intake. So, caffeinated drinks can, however, sugar sweetened drinks, regular soda, sports drinks, sweet drinks, anything like that, may provide more calories. And obviously, keep in mind that coffee can dehydrate you as well. So, if you're thinking that you're having coffee and it's got water in it, it can also dehydrate you. So, it kind of doesn't really react well with each other. So, you need to know if your fluid intake is adequate. So, if you don't really feel thirsty and your wee is colourless or light yellow, then you've probably getting enough water in, if I'm honest. And there's no real danger of getting too much water in. I do also say for like people that have got Parkinson's, MS, anything like that, where they've got kind of muscle wastage problems and things like that, and especially if you're struggling with your joints, then make sure that you're getting enough water in because that might be an issue as to why you're not getting it. If you're regularly feeling fatigued, you run down, you've got no energy, you've got brain fog, then think about water being your intake as one of the things that you need to be benefiting from the most. So I struggled with this initially. I can remember me and my auntie being told that we need to take more water in. We were in a call centre and we used to ring each other and go, right, chug some water, just as a little bit of a reminder. And I know some people find it difficult because you run the toilet quite a lot to start off with. However, this does subside. You do get used to the amount of water that you're taking in. My tip is to always have a big bottle of water on your desk or in front of you. If you drink a glass of water, the likelihood of you getting up to get another glass of water isn't very high. So I have a 2 litre keg, which is in the kitchen because I've just come in from work. But I have a 2 litre keg of water that I know I need to get through. Plus, I have one in the morning, one with my lunch and things like that. But I know I need to get through that keg. So sometimes having a bigger bottle of water is easier than filling out a load of little ones. But obviously, it depends on what's easier for you to take round as well. So I hope that's answered your question. I hope that makes it a little bit easier to understand how much water that you should be intaking. So Holly has mentioned a couple of things really. So one, she has mentioned the best exercise to do. So again, this is something that I advocate quite a lot. And I think people presume that because I'm a PT, they're going to be expecting, just before I move on, Susan, that's absolutely fine. I have Vimto every day. No added sugar Vimto. I rarely drink plain water. You can put fruit in it if you want to. I know that they do like the fruit tea bags that you can put in your water to flavour it of some sort. So that's absolutely fine. So yeah, so exercise. So obviously because a lot of people see me as being a PT, I think they think that I'm automatically going to say, right, you need to be doing 5 million workouts a day. You need to be getting up and doing 10,000 steps as a minimum. You need to be doing everything you want. But however, people that know me, I genuinely say, whatever workout you can do and you can fit in and you enjoy is the best workout for you. Initially, what I would do with any client is just make sure that they are getting their steps in and what is manageable for you. I get 18,000 steps in regularly, 15 to 18,000 steps in. I've got an active job, so it's easy for me to get them steps in. If you're stuck at a desk, I heard someone in the gym tonight say that she'd only got 1,500 steps in. So that's 1,500 steps all day because she's been stuck at a desk. So for me to turn around to her now and say, right, well, I want you getting 10,000 steps in, is going to be pretty impossible for her to do. However, I'd rather you concentrate on your steps first and make sure that you're getting the daily movement in because that's what adds up. Instead of you panicking and thinking that you've got to go and get a half an hour HIIT class done or, you've got to go and do an hour of weights or things like that, and you only do that once or twice a week, don't get me wrong, weights is probably one of the most beneficial workouts that any of us can be doing. Any sort of resistance, if you struggle with your joints, if you struggle with arthritis, obviously muscle loss when we get old and things like that, resistance training is the best training that we can do. However, if you don't enjoy that, then just getting out and moving is going to be so much better for your mental health. If you're taking steps literally every day, then that is going to be more beneficial to you than doing one half an hour workout somewhere along the line. And any kind of workout can be a resistance workout. It can be something that you use as your body weight. It doesn't necessarily have to be weights. It can be a dance class. It can be a Zumba class. They're considered as resistance classes as well, because you're moving your body and you're using your body. So please don't think that you've got to go in and just do a weight workout. Swimming is a resistance workout. So genuinely, what I would always say to any of my clients is make sure they're getting a few more steps in than what they would normally do. If you are getting in, say, only 2,000 steps a day, then aim for 4,000 steps. Build up to that, see whether anything else is more possible, and then see if you can build on that as well. It needs to be something that's enjoyable for you, because if it's not enjoyable for you, you won't stick to it. So that's what I always say with exercise. So another interesting one from Holly was, she was saying to me tonight that she was going to put avocado with her food. So I reminded her that avocado was a fat, and this raised some questions for her. So I know avocados are a fruit, technically. They're obviously you will have seen them in the shops. They're in the produce section. They're kind of used for guacamole. People put them in the salads. People put them in smoothies, brownies, also. But they are quite high in calories. So the recommended serving size is smaller than you'd accept. So a third of a medium avocado, which is about 50 grams or 1.7 ounces if you do it in ounces. I don't, but that is what it is. So 1 ounce has 50 calories just in the avocado. So they are high in fat. It is monosaturated fat, which is a good fat though, and that helps lower bad cholesterol as long as you eat them in moderation. So they have loads of minerals and vitamins in them. So I think in a 100 gram serving you get 485 milligrams of potassium, 81 micrograms of folate, 0.25 milligrams of vitamin B6, 10 milligrams of vitamin C, and 2.05 milligrams of vitamin E. So they are low in sugar. They contain fibre, which will help you feel fuller for longer. So they're definitely something that you can add in to your diet. However, 77% of it is made up of fats. And fat is one of the highest macronutrients per gram to calorie that you can have. So that's why you need to be a little bit conscious when you have avocados, because they are considered a fat and they are in the fat macronutrient. There's loads of different things, the benefits of avocado, so I'm certainly not saying to not have them in your diet. However, because they're so high in fat, you need to be consistent or conscious even of the amount that you're putting into your diet. I can see all these people thinking, yeah, we'll put mashed avocado on everything, and they have nearly a full avocado, and it's a lot of calories because it is a fatty fruit, basically. So I hope that clears that up as well. Rachel had asked about protein shakes instead of meals. So I'm absolutely fine with you getting a protein shake in instead of a meal if it's for convenience and you need something quickly. Some people have protein shakes after gym workouts to kind of replenish the muscle fibres that they've just broke down. So protein straight after a workout is really good. I haven't done that for a while because I come home and eat after a workout, and that's still within kind of the 2-hour window that I need. So I'm getting my protein more from food. However, sometimes it is just easier to do myself a shake in the morning and go out and use that. Shake, a bit of banana, a couple of berries in, and I'll go out and do that because it's quick, it's easy. I like the flavours of protein shakes that I've got. I'm quite happy to do that. However, I don't feel like shakes should be considered a meal replacement if you can eat other things. I'd rather you be eating a proper meal than thinking, I'll just have a shake because it'll reduce some of my calories because I'm not eating as much during the day. And do it that way instead. That's almost like an unhealthy way to see the benefit of having these shakes, if that makes sense. So, yes, use them if it's quick for you, use it if it's convenient for you, and it's something that you grab out on the way out, but try not to use it as a meal replacement often anyway, because you don't want you eat food. There's absolutely nothing wrong with eating food. I don't know why people are scared about eating food anymore. It's like a shake just wouldn't fill me up. It really wouldn't. And if you think about if you're having a little bit of a meal with your protein and you've got your fruits and your veggies and whatever else in there, you're going to be fuller for longer than just nailing a protein shake and hoping for the best. Also, she mentioned measurements. So I definitely recommend that people take measurements when they're on some sort of fat loss or weight loss or fitness journey. The scales are completely demoralizing. And I can remember when I started doing my interval training, I used to do circuit training when I first started off, and I was doing Weight Watchers at the time. And I'd turn up to Weight Watchers, and I've done 3 or 4 classes in the week. I've stuck to everything that I needed to do, and I still hadn't lost weight. Now, this can happen with some of my clients when they're calorie counting as well. They'll jump on the scales and they haven't lost any weight, and they'll go, well, all that hard work's for nothing. But actually, they might have lost an inch on the waist, because obviously if you're training hard, if you're doing resistance training and things like that, then you are going to be putting on muscle and losing fat. Now, that won't show on the scales. If you put on a pound of muscle and lose a pound of fat, that won't show on the scales, but it will show on your measurements, because if anyone's seen the comparison photos that they used to do where it was a pound of fat and a pound of muscle and the difference in the look and the shape of them, you will notice in your measurements that your measurements have gone down. And sometimes if you think to yourself, well, actually, your measurements are what I see in the mirror. It's what makes me feel good about my clothes. So does it actually matter that I haven't lost half a pound on the scales, when there's so many things that are I can't think of the word, throw our weight off, basically. Obviously, especially with hormones, for women and things like that, our hormones can be up and down. If we haven't drunk enough water, if we've had too much salt, if something else happens, there can be too many things that throw off a scale weight. So 100% take your measurements. If you don't know how to take your measurements, I have got a how-to guide on how to do that. So just put measurements in the group, in the comments below, and I'll happily send that over to you, just so that you can start taking your measurements on your journey. So I think that pretty much covered everything that I got sent over. Laura's just put, due to work hours, I'm only getting to sit and eat my dinner. Is there any way I could do my fast from 9 to 1 as my lunch is at work at that time tomorrow? So fasting is normally a 8-hour window, and you can choose your window. It's absolutely fine. If you fast from 10 till 6, 9 till 5, or anything else, 9 till 1 isn't right. I will message you about that. But obviously, if you did it from 9 to 5, that you did your fasting, 10 to 6, 11 to 7, 12 to 8, you can move it around as long as you're not taking any calories in between that fasting window, because that's the idea of it for now. But yeah, if anyone's got any other questions, then please let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I am off to walk the dog. So enjoy the rest of your evening, ladies, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. See you later.